My mom demanded I pay her back for raising me, so I gave her exactly what she asked for. My mom demanded I pay her back for raising me, so I gave her exactly what she asked for. My mom always told me family sticks together, that we take care of each other no matter what. So, when she called me one day, demanding money, I thought she was just struggling a little. I was happy to help. After all, she was my mom. But then she hit me with this. You owe me, you know. I raised you. I gave you food, clothes, a home. It's only fair you pay me back. I laughed at first, thinking she was joking. She wasn't. She actually wanted me to reimburse her for my entire childhood. So I did exactly what she asked for, and she never saw it coming. Before we jump into today's video, I need your help. We've noticed the channel is losing some traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can support us. It's quick, free, and it helps us keep bringing you awesome content. Your support means the world. Let's keep this channel growing together. Thanks so much. Now let's start the video. Growing up, my mom always reminded me how much she sacrificed. She worked long hours, made sure I had food on the table, and constantly told me how lucky I was that she did so much for me. And I was grateful. I really was. So when she called me one evening, sounding stressed, asking if I could help her out financially, I didn't hesitate. Of course, Mom, I said. How much do you need? She sighed dramatically. Oh, sweetheart, I just need a little help catching up on some bills. Maybe $500, just until next month. It wasn't nothing, but I was doing okay. So I sent it over, no questions asked. But the next month, she asked for more, then more, and soon it was a pattern. I started getting suspicious, so one day I finally asked, Mom, what's going on? Is something wrong? That's when she dropped the bombshell. This isn't just about bills, she said, her voice oddly casual. It's about paying me back. I frowned. Paying you back for what? She scoffed. For raising you, of course. I fed you, clothed you, put a roof over your head for 18 years. Do you think that was free? I felt like I had just been punched in the gut. She wasn't asking for help. She was charging me for my childhood, and she was dead serious. I sat there, stunned, my phone pressed against my ear. Wait, I said slowly. You're telling me I owe you money for existing? Mom sighed like I was being difficult. Not existing. For everything I did for you. Food, clothes, school supplies, all the Christmas presents, the vacations. Do you have any idea how much money I spent on you? I blinked. You were my parent. That's literally your job. Her voice hardened. And now it's your job to take care of me. I let out a short, disbelieving laugh. So, let me get this straight. You chose to have a kid. You raised that kid. And now that he's an adult, you're sending him a bill for it? Don't be dramatic, she snapped. You have a good job. I'm not asking for much, just a small payment every month to show your appreciation. A small payment, like she was a subscription service. I exhaled, gripping the phone tighter. How much are we talking here? She didn't hesitate. $2,000 a month should be fair. I almost choked. $2,000 a month? It's only right, she said smoothly. I spent way more than that on you growing up. Think of it as reimbursement. I was speechless. Not only did she not see a problem with this insane request, she had actually calculated a price for raising me. And that's when I realized she didn't want my help. She wanted a paycheck. She saw me as her investment. And that's when I decided to teach her a lesson she'd never forget. I sat there, my mind spinning, replaying her words over and over. $2,000 a month. Not for rent, not for medical bills, but as a thank you for raising me. I had always known my mom was a little selfish. She always had a way of making things about her sacrifices, her struggles, her endless efforts to make sure I had a good life. But I had never imagined she would actually try to charge me for it. I took a slow breath, gripping my phone tighter. You really think this is fair? Mom clicked her tongue. Oh, I know it is. Do you have any idea how much I spent on you growing up? The clothes, the school supplies, the food, the electricity you used every day? I pinched the bridge of my nose. That's called being a parent, she scoffed. It's called an investment. I raised you, gave you everything, and now it's your turn to give back. That's what families do. They take care of each other. I let out a bitter laugh. Funny, you never sent my brother an invoice. Silence. Because that was the real kicker. My brother, her golden child, had never been asked for a dime. If anything, she was still giving him money. That's different, she said quickly. He's still getting his life together. I leaned back, shaking my head. He's pushing 30 and still living at home. Meanwhile, I've been working my ass off, paying my own bills, and never asking you for anything. And now you want me to pay you for raising me while he gets a free ride? Mom let out a long sigh, like she was growing tired of the conversation. I expected more from you. I almost laughed. You expected me to just hand over $2,000 a month like I owe you a car payment? You owe me more than that, she snapped. You wouldn't be where you are without me. I gave you life. I gave you everything. And this is how you repay me? Something inside me snapped. I had spent years busting my ass to build my own life. I had worked through college, taken extra shifts, sacrificed to make something of myself, all while watching my brother coast through life without a care in the world. And now, because I was finally stable, she thought she could start billing me like a damn customer? Fine. If she wanted a transactional relationship, she was about to get exactly what she asked for. I took a slow breath, forcing my voice to stay calm. All right, Mom, if you want me to pay you back for raising me, we should do this properly. She perked up immediately. That's all I'm asking for, sweetheart. Just fairness? I smiled. Great. Then I'll need an itemized invoice. Silence. Mom's voice turned wary. What? I sat forward. I want a full breakdown of everything you spent on me. Every meal, every birthday gift, every expense, with receipts. I'll even factor in inflation. That way, I can be absolutely sure I'm paying exactly what I owe. Mom sputtered. That's ridiculous. I don't have receipts from 20 years ago. I shrugged. Well, without proof, how do I know you're not overcharging me? I mean, you wouldn't want to scam your own son, right? Silence. Then her voice turned cold. You're being a smartass. I smirked. No, Mom. I'm just treating this like a real business arrangement, like you wanted. She huffed. You're impossible. I chuckled. Then I guess we don't have a deal. Mom exploded. You ungrateful little... I hung up before she could finish. Because in that moment, I realized I didn't owe her a damn thing. The second I hung up, I knew I had just set off a bomb. And I was right. Within minutes, my phone started blowing up. First, a barrage of texts from my mom. Mom, you are being completely disrespectful. I raised you, and this is how you treat me? You think you're so smart? Well, don't come crawling back when you need help. I rolled my eyes and ignored them. But then, my brother called. I let it ring for a moment before finally picking up. Let me guess, I said, already exasperated. Mom sent you to guilt trip me? He sighed. Dude? What the hell did you say to her? She's losing it. I smirked. Oh, I just told her that if she wants me to pay her back for raising me, she better send me a detailed invoice with receipts. He was silent for a second, then he actually laughed. Are you serious? He asked, amusement creeping into his voice. Dead serious, I said. And guess what? She didn't like that very much. He chuckled. Yeah, no kidding. She's stomping around the house right now, ranting about how you've lost all respect for family, and how you're turning your back on your own mother. I sighed. Right, because saying no to being scammed is such a betrayal. Look, man, my brother said, suddenly sounding a little hesitant. I get it. She's out of line, but she's still Mom, you know? I frowned. So? That doesn't give her a free pass to treat me like a walking ATM. I know, he admitted, but she's been helping me out a lot these last few years, and I cut him off. Wait, she's been helping you out? Silence. That's when it hit me. My mom wasn't just asking me for money for herself. She had been using me to bankroll my brother too. I exhaled sharply, rubbing my temples. Let me guess, she covers your rent, pays some of your bills? More silence. Then, finally, in a low voice, he muttered, Yeah. Kinda. I let out a bitter laugh. Wow, and you just let her do that? You didn't think to ask where the money was coming from? He groaned. Look, man, I didn't know she was shaking you down for it. She always made it seem like she was just helping because she wanted to. I pinched the bridge of my nose. So let me get this straight. Mom's been demanding money from me, acting like I owe her, while she's been giving it away to you this whole time? My brother sighed. Yeah, I guess. I took a slow breath. This wasn't just about me. This was about her whole manipulative cycle. She had spent years pitting us against each other, treating him like the golden child while telling me to work harder, all while secretly bankrolling his life behind my back. And now, she expected me to keep paying for it. Not a damn chance. I let out a cold chuckle. Well, bro, I hope you've got a backup plan, because as of today, Mom's cut off, and that means you are too. My brother cursed under his breath. Man, you really gonna do this? Yeah, I said simply. I am. Then, before he could argue, I hung up, and this time, I felt nothing but relief. For the first time in my life, I had cut off my mother's control, and she did not take it well. The next few days were radio silence. No texts, no calls. I knew she was probably stewing, trying to come up with a way to guilt-trip me back into submission. And then, the bomb dropped. I got a text from Aunt Lisa, my mom's sister. Aunt Lisa, hey, your mom just called me crying. She says you're abandoning her. What's going on? I groaned, already seeing the manipulation at play. My mom knew she couldn't guilt-trip me directly, so she was doing the next best thing, turning the rest of the family against me. I sighed and replied, me. She asked me to pay her back for raising me. Literally said, I owe her money for my childhood. Aunt Lisa, are you serious? Me, dead serious. Aunt Lisa didn't reply for a minute. Then finally, Aunt Lisa, wow, that's insane. I had no idea she was pulling this. I exhaled. Yeah, join the club. Aunt Lisa called me later that night, and for the first time, I got some real insight into what was going on. Apparently, my mom had been lying to the entire family. She had been telling everyone that I was ungrateful, that she had sacrificed everything for me, and that I had turned my back on her for no reason. She didn't mention the part where she tried to extort me for $2,000 a month. She didn't mention the part where she had been secretly funding my brother's life while telling me to be independent. And the worst part? Some of them actually believed her. I started getting more texts. My cousin messaged me. Cousin, hey, I don't know the full story, but maybe you should just help her out a little. She's your mom. Then my uncle, Uncle Rick. Come on, man. She raised you. Just talk to her. I realized what she was doing. She wasn't just trying to guilt-trip me. She was trying to shame me. She wanted me to look like the villain so that the pressure from the rest of the family would force me to give in. But what she didn't realize, I wasn't playing her game anymore. I texted back my cousin and uncle the same response. Me. When she gives me an itemized bill for my childhood, I'll consider paying. Until then, she can pay for her own life. Then, I blocked my mom's number. If she wanted to play dirty, she was about to find out what losing control really felt like. Blocking my mom's number should have been the end of it. But, of course, she couldn't let go. A few days later, I got a call from an unknown number. I hesitated, then picked up. Hello? A familiar voice, shaky but furious. You blocked me? I sighed, already regretting answering. Hi, Mom. Don't you hi, Mom me, she snapped. I had to use Aunt Lisa's phone just to get through to you. What kind of son blocks his own mother? I leaned back, smirking. The kind whose mother tries to shake him down for money. You are being so dramatic, she shrieked. I raised you, I sacrificed everything for you, and this is how you repay me? I let out a slow breath. Mom, you didn't sacrifice for me. You did the bare minimum required to be a parent, and now you're trying to collect payment like I'm a damn mortgage. You're twisting everything, she hissed. This isn't about money, it's about respect. I laughed. Oh, respect? Like the respect you showed me when you lied about our finances, handed everything to my brother, and then tried to turn the whole family against me when I said no? Silence. For once, she had nothing to say. I continued, my voice steady. I have spent my entire life doing everything on my own because you told me I had to. And now that I've actually succeeded, now you want to cash in? Mom sniffled dramatically, but I wasn't falling for it. You don't get it, she whispered. I'm your mother. You owe me. That's when I knew. She didn't feel guilty. She didn't feel ashamed. She really believed she was entitled to my success. And that's when I cut the cord for good. I let out a cold chuckle. No, Mom, I don't owe you a damn thing. Then, before she could respond, I hung up. And this time, I didn't just block her number, I blocked her out of my life. The second I hung up, I felt something I hadn't in years. Relief. No more guilt, no more manipulation, no more feeling like I had to earn my mother's love with money. She had spent years treating me like an investment, expecting me to pay her back for the privilege of being her son. But now, she was finally seeing what it felt like to be cut off. And I didn't feel bad about it, not one bit. For the next few weeks, I expected more drama, more relatives calling to pressure me, more sob stories, more attempts to guilt me back into submission. But something strange happened. The calls stopped, the texts stopped, the family stopped bringing it up. At first, I thought maybe she had given up, that she had finally accepted she wasn't getting a single cent out of me. Then, I found out the real reason. Apparently, my mom had moved on to her next target, my brother, the golden child, the one who always got a free pass. Uncle Dave called me one evening, laughing his ass off. "Kid, you're gonna love this," I smirked. "Oh? What now?" "Your mom's been begging your brother for money ever since you cut her off." I blinked. "Wait, he's the one paying for her now?" "Oh no," Uncle Dave said. "That's the best part. He refused." I nearly choked. "He what?" He told her, and I quote, "I'm not an ATM, ask someone else." I grinned. The same guy who had been coasting off her favoritism his entire life was now the one leaving her high and dry. And I knew exactly why. Without me subsidizing her lifestyle, she had finally turned to him for support. But unlike me, he wasn't willing to give up his cushy, spoiled life for her. She had spent years putting him on a pedestal, and now, even he was letting her fall. Hearing that my brother had refused to help was the icing on the cake. For years, Mom had treated him like the golden child, handing him everything while telling me to figure it out on my own. She had expected me to work hard and be responsible, all while spoiling him rotten. And now, the moment she actually needed him, he turned his back on her. I couldn't help but laugh. "Man," I said to Uncle Dave, shaking my head. "She really backed the wrong horse, huh?" Uncle Dave chuckled. "Oh, she's realizing that real fast. Apparently she even tried guilt-tripping your brother, telling him, 'It's your duty as my son to take care of me.' And you know what he said?" I raised an eyebrow. "What?" "He told her, 'If you needed money, you should have saved some instead of expecting me to pay for your bad choices.'" I nearly died laughing, because that was exactly what she used to tell me. Be responsible, don't expect handouts, work hard, and earn your own way. And now, the words she had thrown at me for years were coming back to haunt her. For the next few months, I focused on my own life. I traveled, bought a place of my own, took care of myself for once instead of carrying the weight of other people's bad decisions. And my mom, she had no choice but to figure things out on her own. No more free money, no more emotional manipulation, no more treating her kids like retirement plans. She had spent years believing that I owed her something, that I was in debt just for being born. But now, she finally understood what it felt like to stand on her own, just like she always told me to. Some parents think their kids are investments instead of family. My mom tried to treat me like a walking paycheck, expecting me to fund her life just because she raised me. But the second I stopped playing along, she had to face the reality of her own choices. And the best part? She got hit with her own words when she turned to my brother, the son she favored over me. And even he refused to bail her out. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is walk away and let people deal with the mess they created. Have you ever had family treat you like a financial safety net? Drop your stories in the comments. I'd love to hear them.